G'day, guys. Welcome back to the channel. I think we're live again. Second Nemo's and Dibble Supercoach live stream on a Sunday, 10 a.m. So hopefully we get some people to join in. I haven't had the time to kind of um, prep as much as I normally do and sort of get everything ready. But hopefully, in Dibble's absence, we can make some decent content. It feels weird just talking to myself, but we'll give it a crack. Let's have a look. Let's have a look how the week's gone. Have a look at some of the teams that have played already, and the games and how our teams are sort of tracking. So I'll touch on my team first. We're looking all right. We're looking all right as people start to funnel in. So my projection's still 2,631, but I think that kind of relies a lot on. I still haven't had my captain play, so I decided to go with Grundy as my vice captain. And I feel like this should have been a huge score, right? I feel like the Bulldogs like basically bowled him like an underarm ball to smack for six, and he just forked out 105. He was rucking against like second, third, fourth ruckman at the time, just couldn't cash in. So yeah, wasn't stoked with that. And then after me breaking down in my previous video how good of a captain Max Gawn is, for some reason I didn't decide to go him. So it was projected 2,645. I should probably bring that up. Sorry guys, just let me set this up. How do I bring up the I need Dibbles for all the there we go. And then I'm taking it away again. Dibbles is like the technical guy. So it was projected. So Jesse Barnes, thanks for coming on to the chat, bro. Was projected 2,645 Friday night. Now projected 2,352. What went wrong? What went wrong? Because I feel like there's a lot of teams like that. I haven't looked at too many other teams as well to see what kind of happened, but I feel like anyone that sort of had Ross, he had the concussion, so he only scored like 30 odd. So that's a pretty big hit. I had Whitfield, so Whitfield scored 60 odd. I feel like there's a lot of teams that are kind of in that position who had like a really high projection, but now they're sort of struggling, running out of steam during the week. I started off with a projection of about 2,600, and mine's gone up a little bit, so up to 2,631. But I also haven't had my captain play, and I've got it on Sheasel, who's projected like 146. So that's not really that realistic. And I have a lot of players yet to play that I think are projected over. Like Naz is projected 128. I don't know, like that's a pretty high projection. Like he's capable of it for sure. But Parker 81 is doable. Zach Butters 133 against North. Who knows? Like I don't think Butters and Horn Francis are both going to be able to do well in that game, right? Like they're going to put attention into at least one of them. With Simpkin and O'Sullivan. So you would think that one of them probably are not going to score that score. And then I've got my captain as Sheasel, 146. So you had Whitfield, Worrell, Josh Dakosh, Brayshaw, Walsh, Rao, Jackson, DeGoey. Yeah, that's rough. That's a rough run. But look, a lot of those picks are sort of like the DeGoey pick's going to be up and down. Like I feel like when you picked him, you knew you were probably going to have rounds like this. Walsh has been that was a shock to me. If you guys saw my preview video, I had Walsh as my best captain of the week. I was actually shattered that I didn't have him. And what did he score? Like 60. We'll go through the scores in a moment, but 60 odd is a tough one. Brayshaw has been in really good form, so that's unfortunate. Josh Dacos, I traded him out 3 weeks ago, and then I think he went 2 tons after that, and I was kind of thinking, but I just knew, like, this is what Josh Dacos does, man. Mind you, I think he still scored 80 odd, didn't he? Like more than Houston. Worrell 81's not too bad. I think he was lucky to kind of get to that. I have him in my team as well. There was one stage there, it was looking like he was going to score a 60 odd. He scored 43, did he, on the weekend? Far out. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I think DeGoey is one of those guys, like he catches like a hot streak, you know, like he gets on a real hot streak and then He can sort of die off. He has like this little patch of the season where he looks like the best player in the AFL, and then whether it's injury or just falls out of form, or yeah, it's strange with him. Um, Obviously, he's a superstar, has been a gun, a big game player as well, but seems to just struggle every day. Just goes like in and out of form really quickly. Um, I've seemed to be able to avoid a lot of those. What is your rank, Jesse? I seem to be able to avoid a lot of the issues. Like I had Whitfield get the concussion, but hopefully I don't have to take that score this week because the rest of my team's done pretty well. Top 2K. It shouldn't be too bad, bro. I don't think it's going to be too bad. Like 2000, if you can get to 2,400, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Like I think you'll drop a little bit, but I've had rounds like that. Like I've had rounds where I've just completely, like if we have a look at my history, I was ranked in the top. Where was I ranked in the top 2K? So around this stage here, I was ranked nearly 1,000, and then I had a round where I scored 80,000 rank, and it dropped me to nearly 4K, and then I was able to just sort of like weasel my way back up. That was the week that Jackson scored like 60 odd, and I had him as captain. I've had some shocking captaincy choices this year. Like I feel like if you guys are watching my videos and my preview and look at my captaincy choices, watch another content creator, because I pick shocking captains. Like if I pick good captains, I had Tim English earlier in the year when he played 51% of the game time. He got knocked out, or maybe he got something wrong. I actually went to the game as well. I think he scored like 40, and I've had Jackson when he scored 60, and no doubt I'll fuck this one up this week as well. Davo Tall Timber, I thought of you last night watching the Carlton and Richmond game, and how you picked Hewitt a couple of weeks ago, mate. Hewitt's my guy, you know that, and I feel like, do you guys do this as well? Like I really watch a player more when I've got them in my Supercoach team. Like don't get me wrong, I love watching the footy, all times of the year. I like watching whatever game I can sort of catch. But when you have a player in your team, you're going to watch them just that little bit extra. George Hewitt's a gun, man. He's a proper gun. Like he is such a smart runner, and he just puts himself in the right position. He's exactly what every team needs. He's a defensively minded midfielder. He goes to the best player, so he'll go to the opposition team's best player, try to quell them, but has an ability to go the other way and kick goals. And he's a great tackler. What helps, and he's strong. Like you can see, he's just a big boy. Um, Obviously takes pride in his. He just looks like a professional. Like I'm stoked to have him in the. I've always thought he's a good player, hence why I thought he was a good pickup. But yeah, like after watching him a little bit more closely, yeah, it looks like a star. I bought in Naz this week for Sinclair. Yeah, that's gun. Like I think that's like probably the most. That was probably the most common trade of the year. When Sinclair went down, Naz came in. So I did exactly the same. So hopefully Naz does well. I honestly don't think Naz is going to do as well as we're actually thinking. Like I don't think he's going to be like. I think if you can't get him, I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't think he's a must-have player. I think he's going to have those rounds where he goes massive, but I think he's also going to have a couple of tough weeks. So I wouldn't be saying Naz is like an absolute must-get. He actually runs into quite a tough run. I think he's got like a little bit of a run coming up where he runs into some really good sides. I think it's like from around 19 onwards. Yeah, so he's got the Cats, and then I think he's got North Melbourne and Sydney. All have really capable taggers. So could be a little bit of a tough run for Naz. I wouldn't be too shattered if you missed out on him. I started with Dawson. Oh, thank you for everyone for jumping in too. We got 13 people in the chat. What's really good for a Sunday morning as well. I'm sorry I haven't prepped anything, but we can just have a chat, kick back. Hopefully you all got coffee and had some breakfast. I started with Dawson, Brayshaw, Nando's. They were Spud's first 8 weeks. Did you hold them though? Did you hold them, Jesse? That's the key. So it sounds like you traded them all out. Yeah, some of those would have been tough holds though. Like you never know what was going to go on with Dawson with everything that happened, and then Brayshaw was really struggling. Nando had some surgery, so very, very tough to kind of traded Nando after his surgery. Now he's gone crazy. Yeah, I think you're reversing and getting Dale next week, so I can get Durham this week. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I'd probably have to think about it a little bit more. I did say in my last video that I really like Bailey Dale. He's had a phenomenal 10 weeks. Like, he just scores. And I don't think teams really care that much because I go for the Bulldogs and we're shit. So um, I don't think they really care about him getting heaps of the ball. Like, he is actually quite a damaging player, but up the field, we just have nothing. Like, we're just kicking to nothing. And we just let teams bring the ball up. So there's heaps of ball in the back line for him to dominate. Only have 2 trades left. Phew. Is your team full primo, Josh, or are you going to sort of tank a position? G'day, Master Beta. Just the worst name on YouTube. Max Gorn is on a 23 game ton run. He's tonned up in 34 out of his last 36 games. Don't you think it's crazy? And I've seen some content creators talk about how Max Gorn is done. Remember when he was going through that little bit of a tough patch and he had a second ruckman? Crazy, absolutely crazy. Like, I keep saying it, he is the ruckman of our generation, an absolute beast of a super coach player, beast of a player in general. How good was he as well against the Hawks? Like, I remember saying in my preview video that Tasmanian, like UTAS Stadium, suits Max Gorn down to the ground. Like, you can't avoid him at that ground because basically wherever he stands, if you try to make an outlet kick, he's going to get to it, whether it's in the center, you kick it through the corridor, or you kick it on the wing. He's most likely going to be able to get there because it's such a skinny ground. And the ball was like a magnet to Max Gorn against Hawthorn, and that was an incredible game as well to watch. Like, I definitely wasn't expecting that. But yeah, phenomenal player, Max Gorn. Davo Tall Timber. I'm still in the SC. That's the Supercoach Cup, right? And my matchup was projected to beat me by over 200. He's lost so much with Whitfield, Houston, Nando's, and Rao. I have 7 primos left to play today, and I couldn't. And yeah, that's good. That's the. Yeah, I think you're the only person I know that's left in the Supercoach Cup, man. So hopefully you can get up. Let us know how you go throughout the week. If you watch my other videos and stuff like that, if you could comment, let us know how you go, or just keep jumping on the live chats. That'd be unreal. Hopefully you can come back and win that one. Hal Dawson knew he was going to bounce back. Brayshaw got to 450k. I had to hold, couldn't afford to trade. He just didn't want the ball. Now his last 7 or something, he's averaging 115. Well, that's all right. As long as you held him through, like, well, I don't know what they're like. Obviously, Dawson's averaging a ton, and he's a gun as well. Like, he just has so many ways to score, and he's just such a versatile player. Yeah, so at least you held through. I think that's important, holding on to those top guys. Yeah, Supercoach Cup for Davo. So many players have grinded to a halt in the second half. Sicily, Rankin, Sanders, Walsh, Houston, Rao, and Cumming. Super frustrating, but just a game at the end of the day. Yeah, exactly. It's just a game at the end of the day. Like, and you're always going to have weeks where if you're watching like the players score at like halftime and stuff like that, it's a dangerous game, like because you can get a player that absolutely comes flying out the gate, scores 80 in the first half, and then somehow they regress and score, like they end up on 75, and it's very hard to follow. Like, I think if you just generally going into watching a game just to enjoy watching the game, and then Supercoach is a bit of a bonus, then that's how I kind of look at it. Obviously, it's a lot better when your team's doing well, and your Supercoach team's doing a little bit better. Makes it a little bit easier of a watch. Like, watching George Hewitt last night was unreal because this bloke was just doing everything. So, so stoked with that. But yeah, you're right. It is just a game. I think we get wrapped up a bit too much in Supercoach sometimes. In the second half of games. Yeah. Started Gorn, had him captain so many times this year. Who would have thought the bloke would be averaging 130 would be the best option most weeks? Honestly, he's like just a marvel. Like, what a freak he is. Yeah, I think he's always a good captaincy option. Like, he's always a good option. I don't care who he plays against. I don't really care about what ruck when he comes up against. He's a man mountain. He does everything. Like, he has those games where he's such a good like dominator. Like, he just gets, once he's on top of the game, he's really, really good at just absolutely dominating that game. And a lot of teams, if they don't have the ability to just sort of pick short targets and get through, if Melbourne are putting on forward pressure and they're just constantly getting, bomb kicked out of defense for the other team. Max Gawn just cleans up in those games. It really relies, if their forward pressure is on Melbourne, Max Gawn really dominates. I wasted a trade on Daniels. He had 52 at halftime versus the Blues, ended up on 69. They got injured in the first quarter next week. Yeah, that's a rough one. That's a rough one. I think when you're really, really low on trades, like I don't know how many trades you got left. I think you said 2 before. You're bringing in a player like Brent Daniels is basically just asking for trouble. It's the same as Will Day, like guys like that, Malera. If you're bringing in guys like that and we're really low on trades, I just think you have to be really mindful about injury-prone players. Like obviously anyone could get injured, but if you're going for Brent Daniels, whew, you're just asking for trouble. It's the same as DeGoey. Like going to DeGoey, like I don't mind the pick. Don't get me wrong. I like Brent Daniels too. Like don't get me wrong. Like he's a good player and he can score well. But just at this stage of the season and after the season that we've had, if you're really low on trades, can you really afford to be bringing in a guy like that? It's so risky. Like you're just asking for trouble. I think so. Maybe in hindsight, have a look at somebody else. I think like next time, someone that's not so injury prone. Like it's hard though because you can have the most durable guy as well go down injured. So Doshi, so Naz or Shees for captain today. I too had Grundy as VC. Oh my god, brother, this is the question that I'm asking myself all morning. Do you go Naz? Do you go Sheasel? One of them's going to go off, that for sure. Like one of them's probably going to, go 140 plus. I think they should be both relatively safe. Like honestly, you guys could probably help tell me because I don't know shit about Essendon really. Like, do they have a tagger? Like, I don't really watch. I pretend to start to watch Essendon games. Like, I have the intention to watch it, and then they literally just bore the shit out of me, and I can't watch it. And St Kilda are probably pretty similar, but I'll watch this one. And then North Melbourne Port, I actually really like watching those two sides, so I'll probably watch that one today. I don't even know what time the games are, but so Essendon's the first game at 3:00. Yeah, look, I think they're both good options. Like, surely they can both score over 130. I think I'm leaning more towards Sheasel, unless you guys can kind of change my mind. I really need a good score this week, so please help me out. I suck at picking captains. Morning, Jace. How you going, mate? What do we got? Hewitt, what a game for the man. Jace, you're the one that brought in Hewitt as well, didn't you? I think it's just me and you. We're the only two players in Supercoach that have Georgie Hewitt. What a gun! What a gun he is. I couldn't be more happy with how he's going, and he's just a freak. Like, what a pick as well. I'm stoked at that. You know what? Like when you get these little wins, you got to be happy. Like when you put your balls on the line and say like this guy's going to be able to match a top primos, and he's in 0.3% of sides, and then he does it. Good feeling, mind you. He still has to do it for the rest of the season though. Like it's one of those things. The Grundy 105 was a joke. All those 15, 20-meter ruck spikes gaining ground must have. Surely this game, you look at, and we'll have a look at the stats in a second, if I get a chance. But surely, like, let's have a look now at that game. I was watching that game. He was the dominant ruck on the ground by like a ridiculous amount. So Grundy's had 17 touches, 60 hitouts, 14 to advantage, 3 free kicks, 4. Look, he's gone at 53%. So obviously his disposal efficiency is not that good, but he also hasn't had that many touches anyway. Is this his clearances? So he's had 8 clearances. No, 6 clearances. And you're telling me that's worth 105? Fucking kidding me? like I said, I feel like the Bulldogs literally bowled him an underarm ball and he just decided to tap it for a single. Like, you should have been smacking that shit out of the park. But yeah, like a strange one. Like I feel like after watching it, when I watched it, I was like, you know what, that was a decent pick. Like surely he should have scored more than that. But typical Brody Grundy. I watch all your Dave Talktimber. I watch all YouTube videos. I live off the grid bush in New South Wales, so far removed from the AFL scene, but I pretty much watch every game on KO, and intel like yours is a game changer. Cheers, bro. I appreciate that. Whereabouts off grid do you live? I've actually, for anyone that follows me, I'm actually from Darwin, or lived there recently. Yeah, I'm pretty accustomed to sort of living away. I've done a lot of stuff in sort of like Arnhem Land and Tiwi and stuff like that. So I'll be very interested to see whereabouts. And it is, yeah, sometimes it's hard to catch the footy and stuff like that. for sure. It's a lot easier now that I've moved to Melbourne. I find it a lot easier, but um, jeez, I took Dawson VC. Yeah, 100%. You take 135, especially in a week like this where um, we sort of got best 23 playing. It's just too risky to just lose your score for something like something stupid. Like even going Sheasel's risky. You never know injury. You just have to take 130. 130 from now on out. 100% you're taking. I don't care what matchups are going. Hey mate, love your work. How did you come to support the Dogs? Funny one. My family's not really big into football. My background's English, by the way, so my parents are from England. Um, so football wasn't really. I'm first born here in Australia, so I kind of I just grew up playing footy because everyone at school played footy, right? And then my next door neighbour went for the Bulldogs, and he was just my best mate. So I just sort of went for the Bulldogs. My family goes for Carlton, but they don't really support like. And then because I got so much into football, they eventually sort of just they kind of go for the Bulldogs, but they also don't give a shit. And welcome to the channel as well, Kelvin. Let us know who you go for. Hopefully, you go for the Dogs as well. Last week with the buyers, I scored 2,460 in the top 300. I think that's going to be better than my score this week. How crazy is that? 2,460 last week. Holy shit. No wonder you got into the top 2K. I'm thinking Sheasel too. Yeah. Now that you brought it up, though, I'm starting to think Naz. Like, surely Essendon don't have anyone to stop Naz. I should probably have a look into it a little bit more. Just haven't had the time this week. No, I was thinking about getting him in. I just wanted to hold trade, which I did now. Nah, it's not that bad. Like if holding trades, I think is really, really valuable. Like I decided if you've been watching my videos, I was deciding whether or not I go Tuke Miller, keep him in my side, or if I bring in Rowan Marshall. I decided to keep Tuke Miller, especially so I was watching the GWS game. Lockie Whitfield went down, and I'm like 100%. I'm keeping Tuke Miller because I feel like that was like a message from the Supercoach gods going like if you decide to burn a trade and sideways on me, I'm going to punish you with something like an ACL or something. So I was like, all good. I'll keep the gods happy. I won't sideways trade to Marshall. You're scared what Naz is going to do as a non-owner. Oof, okay, maybe I use Naz as my captain then. Davo Tall Timber. So you're in Imbury National Park on the Central Coast, New South Wales. No TV, but good internet. Yeah, nice. Yeah, that well, look. Obviously, I've never heard of that place, but sounds like you're quite a way off grid. I'm actually thinking about moving from Melbourne. I haven't enjoyed it so much so far. It's too cold. Like it's too cold. Like I never thought that the weather would matter so much in my life, but it does. Like it just, I miss the heat. So I'm kind of planning my out. Bloody Tuke Miller. I wish I went Durham and banked the 100K 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I kind of wish I was in the same boat as well. I think that the logic was there, but yeah, obviously we haven't nailed that trade. But hopefully in the future we can. You know what? It's not too late. It's not too late if you're gonna burn the trade. You could probably do it next week. Let's have a look at the game so far, and we'll just keep chatting as well. If you guys have anything else you want to chat about, chuck it in the chat. But Thursday night, this is a decent game. You know, Lions come out, got on top of the Cats early, and then the Cats sort of pegged it back, and I thought maybe the Cats might run over them, um, but yeah, decent game so far. So Bailey Smith scored 125. It was a really, really good score. So that was nice. It was good to have a good score from Bailey Smith just because he's been really, really poor for me so far. Since bringing him in, like I brought him in as a primo, like super primo, to be, scoring massive throughout the week, scoring massive, and he just wasn't able to do it. Max Holmes, 114 was really good. Yeah, Smith is like, yeah. Let's have a look. My whole midfield last week scored 115 plus. Yeah, helps when you get your. Yeah, it helps when your primos really push past 100 and they all get 100, and you can't have any of those low ones. Like you can't have like a 115. I mean a 100 on, then there's really low scores of like 80, 70 and stuff like that. Really, really cost you when your primos are doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, Smith's a safe scorer. You just bank 105 plus with Smith, eh? I think that's why I got him. He's just so reliable. Tony Gamma. So like a strategy question. Hi mate, thinking about not going 23 Primrose, got 22 4 trades left, 9k. Thinking Walsh to Heaney leaves 2 trades and running Hugo. So you got 22 now and you got 4 trades left, thinking Walsh to Heaney. See, personally, like I probably need to think about this a little bit more, but personally, I would go to 23 Primos um, over going Walsh to Heaney. That's just my opinion. I think having 2 Primos sort of counteracting each other is probably more likely to give you more points than having the difference between Walsh and Heaney. Like, what's the difference between Walsh and Heaney? Probably 20 points. I think if you roll the dice and bring in a guy that's got like a really high sort of volatility into your 23rd position, I think that player eventually throughout the season will get enough spike scores to be worth more than going from Walsh to Heaney. But yeah, definitely something. It probably cost you an extra trade though as well, right? So yeah, Ashcroft is on a tear lately. So 100 and what he's got 118, 32 touches. Ashcroft was the reason why I brought Neil in. And I was actually really high on Neil at the start of the season. And it was literally because of Ashcroft and McCluggage. I thought the reins were sort of getting handed over to those boys. And I'm thinking, all right, well, most teams are going to start putting their attention into Ashcroft. They're going to put their attention into McCluggage. But they still go to Neil. The attention still goes to Neil. And it's pissing me off. I think earlier in the season, it was going to McCluggage, it was going to Ashcroft, and they were doing poorly. And Neil was just getting off the chain. But then teams realised, like, no, we can't have that. So they just went back to Neil again. What's a pain in the ass? Neil's the one in my team that's just pissing me off. Next week, would you choose Dale or Ash playing for leagues, not ranks? And we'll play finals. Man, I'd just be going off the run then. Let's have a look. I'd literally just be picking who has the easier finals run. Oh, that's pretty good. I think I'll be going Ash. I haven't even had a look at Dale yet, but that was pretty nice. Where's my search thing? Is it in here? I think the Bulldogs got a pretty easy run as well, to be honest. I'd be going Ash. I'll be going Ash anyway. I'd be going Ash if it was for either situation, I think. Even though I am still really high on Bailey Dale. I wish I could do Worrell to Dale. I'd take that trade right now. I've got Hugo in flex. Don't know who to upgrade. We'll have max about 440 to play with. Is it defense only? Jace, like, is that where you need your extra player? So there wasn't too much like crazy out of this game. Like, obviously, there's a lot of people that own Tom Stewart as well. I think that's a rough sort of hold. But you have to hold him now. I feel like it. Like, unless you got a lot of trades, it's those players that, like, some people went Tom Stewart. I went Worrell. So then, as much as I want to trade Worrell, I can't. Mind you, Worrell's still averaging 100, so it's not the end of the world. But McCluggage, Rosie, Martin next season gonna feed everyone. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, do you, like, there's a point to like not going these players as well. Like, I know it's risky. It's risky to go those guys. I don't know if I'm that high on. I wasn't that high on Rosie at the start of the season, and I went him almost out of peer pressure. Obviously he looks like a good player, but tricky. To be honest, I haven't thought much about next season. So it's too much, too far away. I'm scared of the mid prices. Just want to go an absolute top liner next year. Like this year, missing Dersmer was a big miss. Yeah, I missed Dersmer as well. That wasn't great. That wasn't great. I feel like for me, I picked a lot of my starting picks were really good, and allowed me to sort of progress really quickly. That's my goal. Is I just trade really aggressively early to try to get ahead, like one primo ahead of most teams, and then I hold the one. I rely on having maybe a worse primo side, but just staying ahead one primo those early rounds, and then late in the season, I just got to try to hold on. That's kind of the strategy that I go with most seasons. And heavily injury seasons, like injuries to a lot of players, is normally good for my team because my team's normally a little bit different to most. So, that's kind of how I try to go about it. I'm scared of mid prices. I already read this. I'm going crazy. It's too early. Bad starting pick, Jordan Clark, 96 and 119 in the last 2 weeks at least. I'm stuck with Steele for the year, 2 tons in his last 10 games. Yeah, Steele's like, I don't know if that was, did you have him from the start? Like, was he a starting pick or did you bring him in? I feel like he was a starting pick. It's not the worst sort of decision. Like, so you're probably picking a Jack Steele over like a Clayton Oliver. That's a 50-50 kind of thing. But if you brought him in, then I think that's questionable. Jordan Clark as well. Like, I think he was a decent. Like, I would never go someone like Jordan Clark, but I think, like, not to start with, but I think I can see the logic behind it. And it's sometimes it's a it's a heads or tails type decision. Like at the start of the year, I could have gone Jordan Clark, no doubt. I decided to go Archie Roberts. I really liked Archie Roberts' role, but early days, I was like the two players that I felt like I took real big risks on were Archie Roberts and Cozzy Pickett, and I think they both dropped 60s in their first game. And I was like, oh, fuck, this is going to be a long season. But I held the faith and they've both repaid me. Any keepers you are stuck with for the year? I'm basically stuck with all my keepers, bro. I probably won't make any changes from here unless there's injuries or like a real luxury trade sort of towards the end when I got 2 trades. The keepers that I'm stuck with that I don't think are top of the position is Luke Parker. Even though when I brought him in last week, I just couldn't bring in anyone else. I don't think he's a top guy. I don't think he's top 8. But I think he can do decent numbers and has done decent numbers. It feels weird saying that I'm stuck with Luke Parker when he's averaging 105. Like, probably a bit rough on Luke Parker. Josh Worrell is another one I'm stuck with. He's averaging 100. So them two are probably 2 premiums I rather upgrade. In midfield, basically the only 2 that I wish I could not have Ed Richards and Lockie Neal, and swap them for Heaney and Dawson. Like they're probably the 2 that I'm missing out on. Apart from that, I'm happy with that midfield, to be honest. I wouldn't swap any of my rucks. Like I'm happy with my 3 rucks. I think they're the best 3 rucks in the game. So, and Cherry, like any of those 4, I think are all good. Like, I just don't. I'm not going to stress about the rucks at all. Like unless one of them goes down, I don't care about roll. I don't care. Like they're scoring even on a bad week. Grundy scores 90. Like that's fine. And then Jackson had a bit of a bad week this week, scores 90. But there's such like one of them always goes off every week and scores you 160. So it's such a good sort of just safety to have. And in the forward line, look, Murphy Reed's been doing good recently, but he is only averaging 90. So I'd say Murphy Reed is a guy that I'm holding on to, and Tuke Miller. So I've probably got 6 players that I'd rather upgrade. Apart from that, I've pretty much got the team that I want. If that makes any sense. Yeah, I reckon we'll offload Hugo at the finals. Yeah, nice. Probably, especially if you're playing for leagues and stuff. Yeah, I always want to keep trades, but I just get sucked in. Me not spending the trade this week, going Miller to Marshall, is a miracle in itself. I started Goulden, and that was like in New Year. Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough one because I think that's a good pick. Like I really like Errol Goulden. Like I really like that pick. So that's obviously it's a little bit risky with injury history, but you can't go near him next year, right? Like surely, unless he's like a really reduced price, missing 2 massive chunks of 2 seasons in a row. I just feel like you want to see it first. I'd rather see it before bringing him in. Mills as a D6 or even flex, if he was a bit cheaper, could be a pod play that could win leagues and boost rank. It looks like he actually wants the ball now after 2 months, after 2 months of last season. Yeah, I think. Look, honestly, I haven't really watched too much of Callum Mills. I've just never really been a fan. Like, what's he done? I just tend to like. Let's have a look. Yeah, so his lowest score since round 7 is 87. So done really well. 102, 104, 92, 94, 110, 87, 115, 109. Personally, I don't think a player like that can win you the league. Like he doesn't like. There's a clear sort of cap on his score. So I feel like if you don't have him, it's never going to be that big of a deal. Like he's obviously very consistent, so that's very handy. But I don't know if like having someone like that is going to sort of be the pod play that wins you, your season. Unless he sort of really starts to dominate. Like I'd be going like I feel like Bailey Dale, if you can afford him, is the better pick because Bailey Dale can go like 160, and he's just been as consistent. Like if you have a look at Bailey Dale since round 6, 101, 113, 141, 128, 141, 97, 106, 122, 167, 109. And I'm pretty sure he went and he scored 151 against the Swans. I feel like those players that have the big sort of ceilings are probably better if you're trying to get a pod that's going to win you the league or like really progress you in the ranks. Those consistent sort of 100 players are just going to keep you there and thereabouts. Yeah, started Steele, plan to flip him at round 16 by, but all the injuries. Yeah, it's tough. Like when you sort of plan. I had plans to get rid of Oliver and Neil as well, but I'm lucky I didn't get rid of Oliver. That's sort of one that's fallen into my lap this year because the whole year I'd planned to get rid of him and get to one of those top guys, but he just does that. Just does 118, just does 110, 15. I can't get rid of him now. I've got no trades to do something like that. Or Ashnaz Roberts probably most likely to start next year. They just always want the ball. Yeah. I like those guys. I like those guys that just pick it up over the halfback line. Ash is a gun as well. Like Ash is a really, really good player. Naz is a gun. Roberts is a good player. It'd be interesting to see what happens when the new coach comes in for Essendon and what they do with Roberts because I think Roberts' role, as much as it's really good for Supercoach, really negative for Essendon. Like it's really negative to have a player that just gets that. Like they're constantly looking for Roberts, and he's not that damaging. Like I just don't know how effective that is for a team that's trying to win games. Same with Naz. Like I don't think that role is sustainable. Like it's a beautiful role for Supercoach, but it's just not going to win you games. Like using your best player just to sweep up off the back line, like it never works. J-Mac was so annoying. 350s at least. I got that 140 from him. Yeah, that's crazy. $119 this weekend for Mills. Yeah, so maybe he is a good pick. I'm not sure. Like, personally, I'd just be. Then again, he's at 500k. Like he's a good pick. Like you're right. He probably could be a decent pick. I think because I haven't seen much of him the last few years. Like, what's his last few years look like? I get put off when there's like a player that has a long history of not being like a really, really elite player. Because then I'm just like, why are they going to do it now? Like, what's the difference between this season? So 99 last year, what's decent? Is my thing just like broken all of a sudden? Did he just not play this year? Oh, 73. So yeah, obviously was injured for most of the season. 87. So his last like super elite season that's incredible. 116 he was averaging. So in 2022. Sorry. So he has been an elite player in the past, but it's been, 4 years since he's been that guy. And I think that just worries me. Like I'd rather go guys that are sort of in the prime of their career if I can. But then again, I win guys like Lockie Neal and Clayton Oliver, right? So maybe he can get back to that form. It does suck for Whitfield. He was looking good too. Like he was going to ton up in that game. Like he was on. What did he score? He scored 60 something. So he scored 68, and he got injured just before halftime. So he was on for a big one. What's a shame because he was looking like the goods. But at least hopefully it's only like a 1 week thing with concussion, and then we can get him back. I'll have to field Hugo this week. It's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass, but they've got a really good match up there against the Gold Coast. And Hugo was on target for a ton as well. And then West Coast started to put some attention into him. I think they sent Murdoch to him. So hopefully I can get away with a ton from Hugo next week. I just need him for 1 week and then get Whitfield back. Whitfield's a good trading option in the future, 68. I actually really like Ross as well now that he's gone down with concussion. Only scored 20 odd. He's going to be super cheap soon. Mind you, had the concussion earlier in the season, missed a few games because of it. Phil Thorpe is my 23rd, was out sick. Missed cashing in on the West Coast matchup. He looked good last week and clearly over his back injury. Yeah, I liked Phil Thorpe coming in after his back injury. Obviously, Phil Thorpe's a gun. Like I think he's had a really really rough season because of the injury. Um, but if he can sort of get his body right, um, hopefully he can sort of kick on. Is there something sus about that sickness though? Like I don't know. Like I always feel with all the injury, problems that he's had this year, is there something else going on as well? Like, is it a little niggle again? And that just puts me off. But for the price, he was good value, big time. It's my day one. I am well, mate. Hopefully, you're doing well over there in England. Here's me complaining about that it's cold in Melbourne, and you live in England, so maybe I should just get over it. What are we thinking for the rest of it? What else? You know what I want to talk about? How about we talk about? And I need you guys to sort of interact with this one. What Supercoach content creators do you guys like watching? So who do you think of who do you think are the guys that have like good advice, or like the videos that you'd like to watch, and what sort of content you guys like to consume? I'd be interested to know. Obviously, you guys should say Dibble Supercoach, right? Let's have a look. Move on to the Eagles and Crows game. Dawson was supreme again. 135. He just does everything. He's like the best player on the ground in every position, right? He's the best mid. He's the one that really got away. I should have got him when he was a bit cheaper because I was a massive fan. I think when I brought in Dawson was around the same stage that I was trying to bring in Bontempelli. And since I brought in the Bond, he's been absolutely terrible. So I really, really fucked that one up. Here's my boy that I was speaking about, Oli Franku. So I brought him up during the last live stream saying that, this guy is going to be the mid-season pick of the year. And he looked good in his first game. His tackling's unbelievable. 85 on debut. I actually suggested, and I normally would never do this, but I was saying in the video to bring in Oli Franco even off no games. I thought he was that good of a pick. So I really really like him, and I think he'll keep his spot too. So Jace, you watch Fon FC is good content. Obviously DR Jords, and I like Hippo. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I like Fon FC as well. It's got unique videos. You know who I really like watching? Like personally, this is just the type of content that I like to watch. I like to watch Supercoach Corner, the boys at Supercoach Corner. I think it's Darcy and Tyson. I don't know what it is. Like obviously their videos are like really sort of clean and professional, but they just seem like they're like, I don't know, they know their shit, and they have like different takes on a lot of stuff. I like watching their stuff. Frankie played well, good tackler. Oh, Dibbles has joined as if you joined the chat, but then didn't join the video, bruh. Big fella, hope the live's going well. Messaging from Healesville after the boys' weekend. How good is George Hewitt? You're right. George Hewitt is an absolute animal. He's an animal, mate. You should have jumped on him, Dibbles. When I gave you enough warning. I gave everyone enough time. I brought up George Hewitt 2 weeks before I actually brought him in. I brought him up and just said, bring him. Dibbles. Call them the Supercoach Corner Boys. That's who they are, right? I don't know. What's that comment around? I'm lost. But yeah, I like watching the Supercoach Corner. The guys at Supercoach Corner. I'm so confused. Frankie for sure. Keeping up. Yeah. How good was Noel Mraz? How good was he? He turned up did he turn up on debut? I didn't watch it enough to actually know that he played a good game. Did he actually play like a good game? Like, because if he's a chance to keep his spot, yeah, he turned up on debut. So 16 touches. Where did he get all his points? So 12 marks. Damn. So he was just grabbing everything. Like there's no point me looking at any rookies. Right, I'm not bringing in any rookies from this point. There's no way I'm going to bring in a rookie for scoring. But yeah, if anyone needs to downgrade, still, then maybe Noah Mraz is an option. Is he in the forward line or in the back line? Let's have a look. Because if he's a forward option, maybe I have to bring him in. I just got no cover. Like I just have absolutely no. So he's a defender. Yeah, like that's killed it for me. Like my defensive cover's done. Like my defense is done. I can't upgrade that. I've got no trades to do it anyway. But Hawker Hahn and Nan, they're going to be fine. And then my full primo defense. So Naz, Holmes, Ash, Whitfield, Parker, Worrell. Like where am I going to put him? Can't get him anywhere. Unless I like downgrade Hawker Hahn in a few weeks and then go for like I really like having Isaac Rankin. The idea of having Isaac Rankin as like the last player I have in my team, but it would take me down to 0 trades. But having Isaac Rankin as like my what is it, M10 or M9 sort of F7 would be unreal. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that this season. Mraz was awesome. Centre half back roll straight in. Nice. Yeah, I heard he played a really, really good game. I watched it in bits and pieces, but to be honest, I watched it, but I didn't really notice him that much. But maybe that's just me. 1:40 a.m. Got to get to bed soon, but I got distracted DJing to myself at home and missed the start of your live stream. Yeah, I like Darcy Tyson. I reckon they're unreal. What other sort of Supercoach content creators are you watching? Intercept marks. That's how he scored. Yeah, nice. Gorn in hindsight was the pick when it was just on Meek. The Hawks played shit house in the first half, to be honest. Yeah, look, Gorn's an interesting one because Gorn killed the Hawks earlier in the season, even when they had the double rucks. And against Meek, Utah Stadium, I'm thinking, man, it suits Gorn to the ground, that stadium. Any skinny ground where teams are just going to bomb it, he's unavoidable there. Like you have to kick it to him, and he's just going to mark everything. Like unless you have someone else that can stop that, they just didn't, and he just marked everything. I'm a big fan of the coaches panel. I don't know who that is. Do I get in shit if I look them up on this, or like I don't know how it works with like copyright and stuff. I think I've ever seen this channel before. So it's like, do they do Supercoach stuff or is it just AFL fantasy? Shout out to the coaches panel. Yeah, my cover is decent. I hope Pod comes back, and I don't know if Banfield will play. Probably not. Yeah, I don't think Banfield's going to get back in anytime soon. I wish he did. So I have the same cover as you, Jace. Like I got Banfield and Pod. Pod had a horrible game in the VFL on the weekend. I think he only had 6 touches. So, and because the Pies got to win, I think it's doubtful that he's going to be coming back into the side. I don't think Banfield's coming back in. So I'm basically just going to roll without cover. And I think that's why I leaned towards keeping my trade instead of getting rid of Miller and bringing in Marshall. Because if anyone goes down to my forward line, I have no cover. So I don't mind having no cover there for like a week and like copping a 0 there maybe for like 1 week. But if I get a long-term injury to any of my forwards, and I've got guys like Horn Francis, Petrarca's pretty susceptible to an injury. Tuke Miller has in the past as well. So I think that's ultimately why I kept the 2 trades. Supercoach Edge, Inside Fantasy Sports with Gary Lyons' son horse. I actually really like. Yeah, Damo's content's unreal. I think he's really good. He's got like a really polished channel as well, and his insights are always like really good. Like I think he's probably one of the top guys, right? So if I was going to say, he's there's so much content out there, it's so hard to watch it all. But he's definitely one that I really like to watch. Yeah, Damo's good. We love Damo over here at Nemo Supercoach. The Phantom's Lair was my first into Supercoach last year. My mum even watches him. She's 86. I thought you were saying she was 86 rank, but 86 years old. So good innings. The Supercoach Sword. Wait, is that her Supercoach name? Supercoach Sword, or is that the name of the podcast? I'm confused. The Phantom Slayer is my first name. Yeah, nice. Supercoach still play DR and the crew. Yeah, I watched some of their stuff as well. They seem pretty like they have like a really good sort of banter going on. I think it's the channel's like really good when they pump out videos and they've got like 4 people on there. Like it's a good laugh. What makes the content a little bit better because Supercoach can get a little bit dry, don't you reckon? Like there's only so much you can talk about. Like it's people are picking, especially this stage of the season. You're sort of picking the same players, the same teams, and stuff like that. But um, and now that we're running out of trades, when I'm making my videos, I'm like basically just making and assuming that you guys have trades and you guys have moves to make. Like my team's basically going to stay like this for the rest of the season. So I just got to watch. Hornet has been unreal 4 tons in a row since I got him. Feels like his floor scores are gone. Mate, don't count your chickens before they hatch. I'm telling you right now, I'm so nervous. I still get really, really nervous with Jason Horn-Francis, even knowing he is just so consistent now. 5 tons in a row. But he's right on the edge of becoming a superstar. I can see with Jason Horn-Francis. Like if you can maintain that role, it's just going to be a shame that Port are going to be no good, right? Like if Port were good and they could hold Butters, get Rosie back, they get a really high draft pick this year, Dougie Cochran. Um, they're starting to build something there. If they could keep Georgiades, it would have been unreal to see. I think Jason Horn-Francis can really take a step up, be one of the top guys in the league, like Brownlow sort of contention. He's just got that, and I think he'd be a big game player too. I just get that feeling with Jason Horn-Francis. Like come finals time, he's going to be like your Dusty Ashcrofts, like he can play in those big games. But man, I don't think we're going to see it for a little bit because Port aren't going to be no good. Yeah, I think I had Davo Tall Timber is in Supercoach Cup still. I think I went out in week 3. The week that I captained Jackson was the week that I went out, I'm pretty sure. Supercoach creators that I've discovered this year are you, Dibbles, Supercoach Corner, 8-Bit Reptile. Because yeah, I love the Dense Stallion guys, man. They're funny as. Welcome back to the stable. I don't know. I actually, yeah, I definitely watch. They're actually right at the top for me. There's one channel as well that I want to shout out. And I'm gonna fuck up the name. I think it's like DFPS or something like that. There's something about it. You know who's and the guys that I think the channel is called Center Bounce. I could get that wrong, but I know like they have like a little intro song. So it's just so like catchy. Like sometimes I literally just watch their video or jump on the live stream just to listen to the intro, and then I tune off after that. But yeah, welcome back to the stable. How good's that? I love that guy, man. He's funny as, and he's actually really good. Like they know their stuff. Most guys out there know their shit. Like on Supercoach, like Supercoach content, a lot of them know their stuff. Like so, I think if you're listening to those guys, you're getting good advice most of the time. I think most of the time. I think you got to be careful as well that Supercoach content creators, a lot of them tend to copy each other, and they get sucked into sort of the content that they watch. I try to be really and so I'm going to make mistakes, obviously, and I'm going to have some good calls. I'm going to have some bad calls, and I'm happy to ride that on my own. Like I'll back my own decisions in. I don't think there's ever something wrong with the logic, but I hate it when a content creator says, there's no right or wrong decision with this trade. That couldn't be more far from the truth. There is 100% a wrong and a right decision. It's the easiest way to like in Supercoach, there's always a wrong and right decision. The right one's the guy that scores more points. The wrong one's the guy that scores less. It's like the easiest way to judge it. So when you start hearing there's no right or wrong decision, there is a right or wrong decision. But the logic behind it is where there can be no right or wrong. I feel like it. Like everyone can have their opinion on how they come to that decision, and I'll have mine. And then if I'm right or wrong, you guys judge it off that, right? But I'd be careful because I think the media and I think other content sort of sways their decisions and sways everyone. It sways me, sways you guys. Sometimes for the good, sometimes for the bad. So, if you got a gut feel, I reckon back yourself in. I'll back my decisions, and you guys see that on the channel. That I'll tell you guys who I think's better, who I think's not, and then I'll wear it when it doesn't work, and I'll bathe in the success when it does. I did say Walsh was my number 1 pick for captain right this week. He scored 60, so Lucky I don't have him because I would have put the VC on him probably. Yeah, Shauno's good. And he just seems like a good bloke too. He's got a good his intro is good as well. If I had the time and like the knowledge on how to create a decent intro, I probably would. But maybe as I create more content and sort of get a little bit more um notoriety, I suppose I'll start create. I'll definitely polish up the channel a little bit. I just need a chance to like sit down for a week and actually do and fix it all up. But I still want to keep my channel a little bit dodgy as well because I think that's the most authentic way. Like I don't want it to be like full polished like TV show looking. I'm ranked 3, 2, 4 with a couple of injury change, just working the loops. Hawk Han, ZZ Herbert. Yeah, nice. Yeah, seeing that you're a really decent rank. What's your projected this week, bro? Like, what are you looking at this week? Because hopefully we can get you pushing up into the top 300. Um, yeah, what's your projection for the rest of the week? This Godfather isn't a quite. I'm not gonna lie. I can't do it with this Godfather. It's just something about there being like this, like this filtered sort of face there that just puts me off. Um, but maybe I should watch it. I can only watch like limited stuff. Like my commute to work now in Melbourne is just ridiculously long, so I have a lot of time in on the drive. So I normally set up my phone and chuck sort of like one that's more of like a podcasty sort of vibe. That's why I like the boys at Supercoach Corner. They're my top pick. I think they're my favorite. The video length is like long as well, like an hour long, so I can actually sit, kick back, drive to work, listen to the listen to the channel. What's nice. So I think they're the top pick for me. Um, Projected 2, 5, 3, 4. And have you already had your captain play, or is like are you still relying on like a Naz or a Sheasel? I don't know how all you guys live in Melbourne as well. Like far out, it's freezing here, man. I feel like I'm always like when I get on these channels, you hear me sniffling and sick all the time. It's rough. Deck Super Coach, Wiz Super Coach, Hippo Super Coach, Rookie Coach. Yeah, nice. I don't know too much about Deck Super Coach. Wiz Super Coach, I think he's one of the ones that he has like a really high ranking or something like that. Hippo's like a staple, right? Like he's been around for ages. Um, and obviously is a really good coach as well. And Rookie Coach, yeah, he's a top bloke. Rookie Coach is actually one of the first sort of content creators that reached out to me when I made my channel. So props to Rookie Coach. I just don't know what's going on with his channel these days, and I don't really follow anyone on social media and stuff like that. So hopefully he's all good because I just haven't seen much of his content lately. Um, yeah, so he nailed that. Gosh, having a captain like that is just such a relief, isn't it? Such a relief. Jock Reynolds podcast, some of the funniest content you can imagine, hilarious. Unfortunately, not going anymore. Yeah, I remember the Jock Reynolds one. When I first got into Supercoach, I was in high school, so there was like everything was on Facebook, So I used to watch with like there was a Supercoach page back then called Supercoach Page, and it was like this chick and a couple of dudes. And yeah, that sounds like every great video ever. And then basically they just would talk Supercoach like early days, like when there was like no sort of content creators around. I think Jock Reynolds was around as well back then. It was like basically them two. So yeah, I used to watch their stuff, and it kind of put me off Supercoach at the start. Like when content creators started to come into Supercoach, it actually put me off because I felt like you know I had such an advantage because no one knew. Like everyone was like people that were new to the game didn't know what to do. Like they didn't know how to. So I would constantly score in the top sort of, I'd finish in the top 1,000 all the time, like every season. And then eventually it just started to become really hard because everyone kind of caught on. And then I basically stopped playing for ages. I would make a team at the start of the season and then just like nah. And then this season I've just had a lot more time because before I moved to Melbourne, I just had heaps of time to do like my career was way more set and everything up there, like back up in Darwin. So I just had heaps of time to do whatever. But now in Melbourne, stuck in the rat race now. Don't have enough time. I love the World Cup and I love soccer as well. Like I watch a lot of soccer, just in general outside of the World Cup. But no, I haven't been playing I did create a team, but I haven't actually looked at it since round one. So let's have a look. Yeah, no, I'm going shocking. I haven't changed my team since the first team that I made. So I've probably got a lot of players that actually just aren't like I've still got Dutch players that aren't even in the league anymore. That aren't even playing. How do I get back now? I do. How good is the World Cup? Like the World Cup is such a good event. I was actually going to go this year. Um, so I sort of planned everything, booked my accommodation to go. So I was going to go to the game that was in Seattle. Um, and then yeah, the whole move sort of chucked a whole big sort of spanner in the works and moving to Melbourne. So that kind of wrecked it. Do you reckon Butters cops Foss today? Yeah, look, I reckon. Yeah, yeah. Long story short, I reckon. Yeah, I reckon he'll get Butters has to get the attention right, but I think when Horn Francis gets off the hook, I think he's the one that teams have to really stop. But yeah, look, I think Butters will get attention, but I don't think it'd stop him scoring that much. I still think he's a safe ton. I just think it limits his ceiling. Whereas Horn Francis, I think, might get a little bit more of a free run, but if he really starts to get on top, I think they'll just swap over because Horn Francis has that ability to go forward and kick. Horn Francis kicked 3, 4 goals a game. So, um, what else, guys? Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before I boot? I'm going to probably get going soon and get on with my Sunday. Probably head down to the gym for a little bit before the footy starts or something like that. You know what you can help me out with? Does any of you guys, I feel like I've just turned this completely off Supercoach now. If there's any more Supercoach stuff that you guys want to talk about, let me know. I'll probably hang around for another 10, 15 minutes, um, and then let you guys get on with your day. Um, I think the main thing would be a lot of teams are sort of picking now between Sheasel and Naz as their captain. I think I'm going to go Sheasel, but that could change. I've got it on Sheasel. I've had it on him for most of the week, so I'm pretty sure I'm just going to follow that through and go Sheasel. But I also think Naz is scary and can go massive against Essendon. I feel like I'll really regret it if if Naz if Naz goes off, and I think he will. Big Tom, I commented under Rookie Coach's video suggestion he should check out your channel and reach out as you're in a similar position to him. A couple of nice, yeah. I remember this, Tom. I remember you doing that for me, so I appreciate that, bro. And he did reach out and had a chat, and we were going to organise maybe a time that we could collab together. I think that was with him, or I think Damo has suggested that I should go on his live stream and join him for one of those Friday night sessions. But a lot of those Friday night sessions, I'm just like laying in bed, like kicking back. Like I don't know if I can be bothered, but if you guys want to see that, if you guys want to see one time, not me laying in bed, but if you guys want to see me jump on that live stream one time with Damo, let me know. And I'll jump on his. I think it's his Friday knockoffs. I'll jump on and have a suss and chat to you guys on there. Apart from Supercoach, though, you know what? Does anyone know anything about cars? I'm looking at getting. I want to buy like a. See, I know shit all about cars, but I'm looking at getting like a dual cab. Like I want to get a 4-wheel drive dual cab and do some traveling around Australia. So obviously don't want to buy like a brand new one, but yeah, if anyone's selling a dual cab, let me know. You guys, I'll help you guys out with Supercoach. You guys help me travel around Australia. That would be ideal. I think that might be it, guys. I think I'm pretty happy with that. I think we've covered most of the stuff. We've covered most of the games. With the 2 games going, hopefully your projections are good. I think any score around 2,500 this week is probably going to be a decent score. Depending on what your rank is as well. Like I think if you're sitting around, 10K, what's probably sort of a decent sort of ranking, sort of 10 to 20K. If you're sitting in that sort of area, I think if you score anything around sort of 2,450 to 2,550, I think you'll probably have a good week. I think 2,631, the projection that I've got at the moment is a little bit overs. I don't think I'm actually going to score that. Like I think I'm really relying on a good captaincy choice, and then a lot of guys to go 120 plus, 130 plus. So let's see how we go, but we'll ride it out. Hopefully we do well. I just wanted to say, Yeah, all matchups are 2,400s, 500s, and then you could probably say most people are gonna score lower than that, right? Like the projections, I think, are a lot higher than what they're actually going to be because a lot of us would have common players. A lot of people would have Butters, Sheasel, Horn Francis, Naz, and they're sort of like overscored. So I think they'll actually come back a little bit. All right, guys. I'm going to catch you guys later. Thanks for joining the live stream again. If you can like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, I really appreciate it. I really enjoy chatting to you guys on the Sunday, and I'll see you guys in my. I'll try to do my review video after the footy tonight and get it out there late tonight if I get a chance. If not, it'll come out on the Monday, and then yeah, I'll see you guys hopefully on our next live chat. Dibbles will hopefully be back 10 a.m. Sunday next week. So I'll catch you guys later. All right, take it easy.